don't know if this was given what Homeboy thought it was given, though. Like, because you're basically admitting that you knew, if this is true, that you knew that there was sexual activity happening with underage people, and you stood by idly and did absolutely.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scores and Assists, where we break down the latest headlines and bring you fresh takes on everything sports and culture. From trending news to game highlights and hot debates, we've got it all. Hit the subscribe button and stay in the loop. So Fat Joe is denying allegations brought forth by his former hype man in a multi-million civil lawsuit. The hype man, who goes by the name Terrence Dixon, filed a complaint alleging that he witnessed the rapper groom, isolate, and sexually assault minors while employed by his company. Fat Joe's lawyer fired back, calling the suit a blatant act of retaliation. He went on to say that the allegations against Fat Joe are complete fabrications, lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure.
It looks like a Fed thing. It's a 157-page document. And just to add this last piece to it, again, his former hype man worked with him for 16 years. And according to the complaint, he had a, quote, unrivaled vantage point to observe the rapper's off-stage lifestyle and behavior. So,
and we gotta add that this is a countersuit.
Yeah,
because Fat Joe sued him first
for defamation of character back in April.
Yeah, gotcha. So he says I'm a Fat Joe, and then this becomes the countersuit. This is interesting. He says that Fat Joe forced him, quote, into humiliating situations, including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance, accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if he refused compliance. And he says the number was up to 4,000. Then he adds, there's a Jane Doe involved in this, and he says he personally witnessed Fat Joe engage in sexual relations with children who were 15 and 16 years old. And he lists three Jane Does, including a 16-year-old Dominican girl in New York who, quote, in exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of her cell phone bill, would perform oral sex and other sexual acts on the rapper. I don't want to go through the whole thing. Y'all can find it for yourselves, but there's two other Jane Does, and it's been everything from paying for BBLs to food to all these other things. And this is...
And again, this is a RICO, if I'm not mistaken, right?
A civil RICO, yes.
What is a civil?
What is that?
Yeah.
You gotta...
a civil RICO, well, I don't know what it is, so look it up. But my understanding is when you take the company cards and start busting shit down and using your legal businesses to pay for illegal shit.
Yeah, but that would be a not civil RICO, right? Wouldn't that be a criminal RICO?
So he's suing him for money. Civilly, you sue somebody for money. A criminal is...
But it also says claims are like there's a statute of limitations on civil RICO of 4 years.
All right, please read us the definition.
A civil RICO refers to a private lawsuit brought under the RICO Act to recover damages resulting from a pattern of racketeering activity. Essentially, it allows individuals or businesses harmed by organized criminal activity to sue those responsible for the harm, seeking financial compensation.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So your organized criminal activity being blended with your legal business activities is, you're done.
Never heard.
Civil RICO makes sense. I don't know.
It makes sense.
It makes complete sense. I don't know whether this is...
It makes sense to me, but I feel like you would have to prove the RICO part first, no?
Well, you do, but just not beyond reasonable doubt, just by a preponderance of the evidence. So in the same way...
anybody that worked for you, helped you in any type of way do some illegal shit, then... I mean, I think I learned that from the Puff case.
Yeah.
But that's
the standard
of civil.
The standard of proof in a criminal versus civil RICO is different. In a criminal case, the government must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, while in a civil case, the plaintiff only needs to prove their case by a preponderance of the evidence.
Yeah, but I just said...
I mean, it's more likely than not that he's liable.
Yeah. And so in this case... this includes unjust enrichment, quantum merit, fraudulent concealment, fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and money laundering. In this lawsuit, Roc Nation is also named. And they claim that the company, which represents Fat Joe, knowingly participated in, quote, concealing, transferring, and manipulating Dixon's authorship rights and royalty interests, and sought to intimidate, harass, and obstruct the hype man's legitimate claims against Fat Joe, as well as two other people. This is why it becomes a civil RICO. They're saying that these acts actually cause him material harm and damage. That's the argument that's being made, and that Fat Joe is running a criminal enterprise, and the other defendants are Pistol Pete Torres and Richard Rich Player Hospitre.
This feels like he had a beef over not getting some royalties for doing ad libs, which wouldn't necessarily be guaranteed a royalty situation. and they're going back and forth about it, and he dropped the nuke.
Yeah,
Quote unquote. That's what it feels like to me, outside looking in.
Because Fat Joe, in the original suit, Fat Joe was saying that he was trying to extort him after he refused to be demanded for ghostwriting work. Refused to be compensated for ghostwriting work.
And so that's when he went on radio.
Fat Joe.
No,
Okay.
Dixon, and said things about Fat Joe. Specifically, he said that he enjoys high-level that he basically said he flies 16-year-old girl across state lines for sex. Fat Joe sued for slander. And then we saw this as the response. And he told Variety, which is my source right now, he said, this is the right way to fight Joe through the system. You can't fight him no other way. Joe thinks he's God. Joe thinks he's untouchable. So, again, I don't know who's right or wrong. I don't know the details, but this is bigger than I think people thought initially, because it's not just that he's saying Fat Joe did something. When you start getting into civil RICO, the other thing that civil RICO can do is, as we learned with Diddy and Cassie, it can spark a criminal investigation.
Yes.
So so this could get huge.
I don't know if this was given what Homeboy thought it was given, though. Like, because you're basically admitting that you knew, if this is true, that you knew that there was sexual activity happening with underage people, and you stood by idly and did absolutely
For 16
nothing.
years.
But I think it's messy.
So you say he was afraid?
Yes.
Yeah,
He was afraid.
I think that's what he's saying.
If that's the case, he'd be more complicit.
What do you mean?
I mean that he played a role to cover it up. You was aware, you didn't see any issue with it at the time, if that is the case.
Well, if you was afraid,
But
then
that's what
you're
he's
gonna get
saying, is that he
immunity.
was coerced into
You'll get
it.
immunity for your testimony, and
And them niggas, excuse me, they just use that as an angle. Them niggas don't be afraid. Them niggas be willing participants.
allegedly.
In these things. Allegedly. I'm not saying him. I'm
you
just
can be
talking about.
sued for that.
Right.
Thank you very much. Allegedly, people be willing participants. And it's not until things start to come down or things start to change where they want to use these angles, which is nothing wrong with it. If he felt, I don't think in the moment Joe was aware, or he made it aware that he was uncomfortable, or I think that he was.
If it happened, because we don't want to assume that he did have sex with underage girls. I don't want to put that on the table either.
I'm just talking about whatever. But even with the ghost writing, even whatever. At the moment, I think a lot of niggas just be there for the ride. They there for the ride until time passes and they start to realize some shit. They don't make it be known in the beginning.
Are we in a different? Is this just a different era now? I mean, is this going to be the norm from now on?
It's the norm. It's the
I mean, forever. I'm saying
It is the norm.
No, it's the norm because the U.S. is the most litigious place in the entire fucking world, and it's the result of late stage capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact.
I guess hip hop seemed insulated from some of that.
How?
Because hip hop was based on not snitching.
That's
and
what I'm
certain
saying.
Other street principles, and now those are gone.
Those
Yeah, I couldn't
principles
imagine
don't exist
20
anymore.
years ago somebody's hype man suing. I could see suing for royalty, suing for money, but
For sure.
this particular angle is interesting. And again, that's not the same thing as wrong with it. If Joe did what he's alleged to do, he should be held accountable. I'm just haven't seen this level of litigiousness in hip hop ever, and I didn't know if this was just part of kind of the extension of Me Too.
Nigga, ever since 6ix9ine did what he did and came back, and
oh, that's interesting.
people was receptive of it. Not well, like
Some people,
fans,
enough.
not the industry. And then niggas was hopping on records with him. It sort of put that snitcher shit like this for the new era. To me, look at Gunna. He was accused of snitching. He came back, had a #1. Was it album?
Yeah.
Like nobody looks at it the way we look at it anymore. It's not looked at it the same.
I'm sure that the rat and shit plays a part. I think a lot of this is coming from financial literacy.
Poverty.
Yeah.
I think a lot of shit is coming from poverty. I think that
all money
know,
shit,
people
yeah.
know now.
No, I've been around you for 20 years. I was your man for 20 years. Let's just say I've seen you do some shit, or I've done some shit for you, and now we parted ways. And now I'm fucked up. I'm back living in the projects, or I'm back, no disrespect to anybody in the projects, but I might not be living under the most ideal circumstances, and I'm watching you still ascend financially. So I might feel like, yo, I did mad shit for you. I'm old. And the only way I can get that compensation is to sue
But
you.
that's where the
Put some
know-how
nasty
come
shit
in,
on
because a lot of niggas might have been feeling like that before, but didn't know.
Didn't know that.
Shit, I could sue you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
Because
get
this
that.
happening all across the
I'm gonna go
board.
get that
Niggas is
same
just
lawyer
getting
that
sued.
won that case with such and such. I'm gonna go get them.
A lot of niggas.
And the internet changes how the victim in these instances may feel in the 90s versus today. In the 90s, you're trying to take down one of the most powerful people in the world. You're gonna have a pretty hard time. Today, you can have an audience from day one of support and people believe in you and some action being taken. So I think there's a lot of things in the pot.
Agreed. And there's more. Even before we get litigious, I feel like the internet doesn't help because people just see you all the time, see you looking good, see you in the nice car, see you with the jewelry, all that shit. It's a constant reminder of, damn, I used to be around this and now I'm not, and now it's up. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before, it's out of sight, out of mind. Like,
nigga moved to LA.
Pop up on a source.
Nigga moved to LA. I don't even know that he existed, but now I'm watching you every single day with this chain and that chain and this watch and that watch. Like they just had Joe sitting ringside and they showed him and 50's watches when they was sitting. The game that you went,
front row.
They had Joe and he had the rainbow joint on. The rainbow Rolex, that shit $475.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you like, this nigga got $475,000. Oh no, give me some of that.
Right.
I beat this nigga up for you. I did this for you. I did that for you. No, I'm owed some money, and people might feel like that.
You know what? I kind of have like a statement / question. I just learned something just recently about media liability insurance, and I'm wondering if it would protect you in a circumstance
What is
like
it?
this.
I'm not familiar with it. What
So
is it?
media liability insurance is basically something that like a media personality, an actor, a media personality, a journalist, and one of us could take out, and it protects us against, litigious claims, civil suits, and that sort of thing. So it's just, I didn't even know the shit fucking existed. I was like, I gotta get that. Yeah. I mean, it's just something to consider, and it was something that I didn't even know existed, but I just wonder now, which we don't have the answer to since nobody knew what that was, if this would have protected Fat Joe in this particular situation.
No.
I don't think it would.
I don't think it would.
No.
Because this isn't a result of his broadcast
20 years
career.
ago. Yeah, this is 20 years ago. Them moving around in different countries doing whatever they doing. Them in the studio, he said he was responsible for some of the lyrics, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It don't had nothing to do. He said he was humping underage girls. Like, that's not media liability.
Yeah.
Every hype man done got threatened to be left out the country though before.
Yeah. Every hype man, DJ, sound guy,
hey, we rolling out of here. This time, I dare you to be late like you always are, and we taking off, and you'll be stuck over here in fucking Istanbul, nigga.
Well, is that? I don't think that that's necessarily a threat. That's more like, be punctual. And be,
according to what Mark just read, you can't tell nobody that you work with that you about to leave in another country.
Or you can't say, yo, do X, Y, and Z, or I'm gonna leave you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like hold this video camera or have sex with this person or else.
That's different.
Yeah, that's the different. And I'm not, again, these are allegations. We don't know what's true.
What happens? Well, Fat Joe's attorney responded.
I didn't have it. Hold on.
Yeah, his attorney responded, said this is a money grab, said this is bullshit. Y'all could look for it, but he said all the things that you would expect an attorney to say in response to
I got
something
it.
like this.
The lawsuit filed by Tyron Blackburn and Terrence Dixon is a blatant act of retaliation, a desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit we filed first, which exposed their coordinated scheme to extort Mr. Cartagena through lies, threats, and manufactured allegations. We didn't just sue a disgruntled former employee trying to revive a false claim from 15 years ago. We sued the lawyer behind it all. Tyron Blackburn has a well-documented pattern of abusing the courts to harass defendants and generate media attention. 2 separate federal judges have condemned his conduct, one for filing headline-chasing lawsuits full of salacious and baseless claims, and another for making repeated legal misstatements and personal attacks in court filings. He is now the subject of a pending referral to the Southern District's Disciplinary Committee. And it goes on to say law enforcement is aware of the extortionate demand at the heart of the scheme. The allegations against Mr. Cartagena are complete fabrications, lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. Mr. Cartagena will not be intimidated. We have taken legal action to expose this fraudulent campaign and hold everybody involved accountable.
I think that's the way you fight it. Like we were saying, is this going to be the thing going forward? Is these lawyers that take these type of
you
gotta go, like how Hov went after Busby, like that has to happen to now deter other lawyers from just jumping on and just throwing any lawsuit out there if it's not true.
And the crazy part with that is Most people don't have enough money to do that.
Right.
Like you talking about JayZ, who could go put a billboard out like, nigga, I'm coming for you. I'm not the nigga to extort, but everybody don't have the influence, the pull, the resources in which to do that.
And they also, a lot of people don't want to. It's a waste of time and money to not just settle and
For a lot of
keep
people.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What do we think happens to Fat Joe from here? Anything? Does he continue to go about his
he-
day to
Yeah.
day?
I think he goes by his day.
Absolutely.
Does he get low?
Nope.
No. He shouldn't. No.
Because that's an indication
and
of
you
like
can't
guilt.
get low.
You definitely cannot get low.
He got a new show out. You can't get low.
You can get low. You can get low.
You could,
Well,
but
it would give off some type. It would give off an image
Guilt.
that
It'd be
there's
bad
some
messaging.
truth in here. Some truth in here. That you're afraid of something. If you go get low.
I think that's horrible.
Yeah, I think that's bad.
horrible.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but
It's just certain practices that's just real nasty, that being one of them. Like, you should be able to get low when you're going through some things.
For my own mental
and you're
support,
under
yes.
duress
True.
and you're stressed and you
Sure.
fucked up. You shouldn't have to continue to show up with your best politician face and work because people think that you'll be guilty. Some of this shit is
Yeah,
stupid.
that's true.
I agree.
but the people,
Perception is everything.
yeah, and the people are the one that moves the needle.
outside of
when it
that
comes to
too,
that.
like if it's a baseless claim, as he is saying it is,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop what I'm doing
At all.
because
That don't mean it's not affecting you in a
For sure.
traumatizing way where you might want to get low based to protect your own mental health.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
get what
don't
I'm
wanna
saying?
hear
Like,
that
yo,
everywhere
dog,
you go.
ain't nobody want to be faced with that shit every single place that they go. People pointing, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that people have to deal with.
I mean,
I can see getting low in terms of like
Socially.
being outside, like going to dinners and stuff like that.
although, because there's so many lawsuits now and so many things happening, I'm not sure that this will carry the same stigma that it would have 2 years ago or 5 years ago.
Tell the person that.
No.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
with
Like
you.
the person that this, or my nigga, people got parents.
And
That
the claim- and the
people
claim
got
that's made?
children, my nigga, that's seeing this shit on TV. You can't say, yo, you just one of a million. Nah, dog. It hits you. It affects you differently. You get what I'm saying? It affects your family now. That shit is in your living room now.
Oh, I
You know,
agree. I agree.
not-
Yo, you 100% right.
Yeah.
I'm saying to give him some perspective. Let's say it's not true. To give him some sort of solace is that, you know what I mean? The world doesn't. I don't think the world immediately judges people guilty in the same way that they did 5-10 years ago, or you know what I mean?
I don't think it has
Nah,
nothing to do
not
with
just
how the
that.
world feels.
Yo,
What
dog,
does the
and
board-
not just that,
what does
yo,
the
it's
board-
married, bro.
What does the board think?
That's another important point. Yeah.
Before it get to the world, you either got a board you either work for somewhere that has a board that's going to do due diligence, stand by you, investigate, try to flush out facts, hire a private investigator, or
You got a contract.
huh?
You got a contract.
But they all have these clauses.
And that contract might have a clause that says,
morality
yo,
clause.
anything that surfaces, we can
The
immediately discontinue
the
our...
contract has a million sentences that gives the company an out. If you are valuable enough, then
They don't need that out.
They don't take
they
that
don't
out.
lead that way. They go and talk to some people and see if we can fix it.
That's a
Can we
fact.
keep this guy or just try to be quiet for a little bit? So,
But to your point about it being in your living room stuff, these ain't just claims like, yo, he robbed somebody.
He stole some money from
You
me.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The claims in here
Yeah, they're
can
pretty-
cause some uncomfortable conversations
Fam,
in
nigga.
your family.
Right.
He's married, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're married.
Oh, it's
You know
rough.
what I mean? It's shit like that, bro. Like, again, to Ice's point, this ain't, yo, he beat me for $10 million. I'll take that before some of the other shit that he is being accused of.
my wife is the one I can go home and tell, yo, somebody's trying some bullshit. It's a shakedown, yada, yada, yada. The company, not so much.
Yeah,
Right.
I would imagine that your family, you would have enough equity with your family of all people to be like,
Yeah.
this is not
Right.
true.
Or you don't have enough equity with your family, so when your family reads it, they know it's true.
Right. Or they know what's true and what's not. Like, she might not have been 15, she might have been 25, but I know you fucking on the road. I'm not saying Joe, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the reasons this works is because a lot of time the person, the lawyer, the rapper, the whoever it is, the celebrity doesn't want even the shit that's not illegal. They don't want
My kids to have to read this in a headline,
Well, Hope
so
said-
I'm going to settle.
right, because a lot of times your defense is she wasn't 16, or your defense was it wasn't 4,000 girl. You know what I mean? Whatever the defense is might work in the court, but it don't work at home.
She wasn't 16, sounds nuts too.
Right.
I get it.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Kobe's defense. Yo, it was consensual.
Right.
You still got to face your wife, my nigga.
Exactly. So let's. There's another story that I wanted to get y'all take on. Obviously, for those that don't know, the Lakers were sold.
Hey, Gigi. Hey, Gigi.
The Lakers were sold a few days ago.